the details on tonight's game. And Damashek, since you are a diehard Indiana rooter and you're rooting, I think it's more than 98%. I think outside of Miami, you're not going to have a whole lot of people rooting for Miami because Indiana is the more charming story. And it's also the news story. Miami has advantages, as it always does on the offensive and defensive line. Indiana's right tackle is a problem. Miami's going to get frustrated tonight by the number of back shoulder throws to Surratt that are then going to open up the deep throw to Surratt when you're expecting the back shoulder throw.
You don't feel like young college football fans are looking at this game tonight being, okay, Indiana's Indiana. It's the Midwest, and Miami, that's cool.
No.
You don't think young college sports fans?
No, not with your QB who's 2 years removed from taking a class, which is a bad look, saying that into a microphone.
True.
We all understand that that's what goes on in college football. It is a weird thing to announce.
He took 3 classes
optionally.
He didn't even have to. You should celebrate him for his altruism. He chose education and learning when he was done with school. Unlike Deion Sanders, who had a 0.0 GPA and was showing up to games in a limousine and a top hat his senior year.
Now, listen, I went to Indiana University when Bob Knight was the coach, and he was much praised for all of his guys, went to every class. I shared classes with some of those players, and they weren't there for many, many weeks at a stretch. So that was a little overstated.
He's the GOAT.
I do think it would have been very funny for the follow-up to be, well, Carson, what are those classes that you're taking? Because I refuse to believe. He's like, I'm still taking some. I
asked you for matchups and game analysis, and you started
criticizing
how many
classes. You know what I say, Dan?
Beck is going to.
I talked to Greg and Chris this morning about the game, and I say it again to you now. Who gives a crap if you are on either side? Who cares about what the point spread is? If you are on the Hoosier side or the U side, if you're getting involved in, do you think they're going to cover 7.5? Who gives a crap? Don't get caught up in that job.
Good call, Stripes.
Hometown cooking. Hometown cooking.
Get out, Dave. Can wait to do this live stream with you tonight. Would like to wait for the rest of my life, pass away, and have the live stream be at my funeral that involves Dave.
Just
Damashek.
you and Dave tonight in there.
No, I know. You guys are saddling me with Dave as Zaslow goes to the game dressed like Luther Campbell. Mike leaves here early. Lucy leaves here as well and saddles me with Damashek.
I still don't know why Mike's leaving early.
7.5 minutes.
I'll be there too.
You'll be here. I promise you. Yeah. I'm proud of you guys. You're pulling double duty on a holiday. This is crazy. The last couple of days of content I've really enjoyed. I'm going to support this live stream. I guarantee you will be hearing from Mike Ruiz on this live stream. You can take that to the bank.
Happy. It is a national holiday. Happy David Guetta Day.
Thank you.
And I made a special record. So this record is in honor of George Floyd. And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
Drop was about to go.
Yeah. It was Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech.
Is this cultural appropriation with Zaslow? I don't think he could be dressed like this, but I do think if there's a window for him to be dressed like this, 12 hours, these 12 hours are the 12 hours where it should be allowed.
Can't be dressed like what? Like awesome?
I don't see the problem. This is a bandana. You do you, boo.
Sorry you didn't recognize me when you walked in, Dan. That's your fault.
You guys didn't give me the game analysis I was looking for, Lucy or Mike. Mike, by the way,
I haven't been asked.
Kane's inside.
He asked a targeting question.
I haven't been asked my opinion on this game or how it's going to go.
Mike, what's your opinion? How's it going to go?
We know how
5 minutes.
We know how you think it's going to go. Kane's Insight is live all the time, burping out an immense amount of content. If you are a Hurricane fan, Mike is one of the owners of Kane's Insight. So give us your best couple of minutes based on everything. Nonstop over the weekend, Kane's Insight was belching out exhaust on this game.
Right. So here's how I think the game's going to go. I had a bold prediction that the line's going to fall down before the game. Right now, last numbers I saw, 78% of the betting public is on Indiana. Who cares about that? Let's talk X's and O's and Jerry's and Joe's. Miami outweighs that defensive line that doesn't have any depth.
Go on.
By like 50 pounds. Miami runs duo. Indiana runs stunts.
Go on. Miami's
going to average at least 4 yards a rush. Miami matches up really well here. I think Miami's going to go on 14-play drives. I think Miami's going to lean on these guys. They present a matchup problem that they haven't really encountered, and I think we're going to see a team wear out over the course of the game. Think back to the Carson Beck touchdown run. Look at number 51 on the ground for 7 seconds. That's what it looks like, and it's going to look like that again. I feel really good about this game. I feel better about this game than I felt the last game. Now, I have tons of respect for Indiana. I think the quarterback is fantastic. I think they have 3 receivers. I think Charlie Becker's been unbelievable down this stretch. I love their offense, full passing concepts out of RPOs. This is not like a sideline throw. They're running routes on RPOs, and Mendoza is extremely accurate. I'm a little worried about Xavier Lucas not being there early on because you're going to need to be physical with these receivers, especially Surratt because he's a ball winner. I think Indiana's going to know right away they're in for a fight, and I think Miami wins. Go Canes.
Jeremy, update a couple of the things that we were talking about over this hour, please.
Denzel Perriman was suspended for 2 games for repeated violations of playing rules intended to protect the health and safety of players, and I know it when I see it was used in 1964 in the United States Supreme Court. Justice Potter Stewart described the threshold test for obscenity in Jacob Ellis versus Ohio.
I'm really curious to see what Indiana's defensive line does. Because
well, they do the same things Mississippi. They do the same things Ole Miss does with the stunts.
And Ole Miss has a more talented D-line, I think.
And got to the quarterback. More than I expected.
Yeah, their pass rush was good. So, like, when you're stunting, running up a team that runs the type of tight splits that Miami does, it's a little bit more complicated, especially when that team is so beefy and big. So are they going to change up what they do? Or are we going to break Indiana's tendencies? Or are they going to trust that and think that if they get a stop early or Miami has a procedural, they can get them in like a 3rd and long situation, dare Carson Beck to be the guy? I think styles make fights, and this is a really good matchup, and it's going to be a difficult one for Indiana, I think.
Carson Beck is in his 7th season, and I did think, Lucy, you tell me if I have this wrong. The reason I was surprised at the amount that Ole Miss got to the quarterback is because I thought Carson Beck was allowed all season to play a game differently than most quarterbacks where he has a pocket. He has a clean pocket often. I'm almost always surprised when he doesn't have a clean pocket, and I'm certainly surprised when someone comes straight up the middle and sacks him. I thought Carson Beck played, obviously, a great season outside of that Louisville game, but I also thought he had advantages most quarterbacks in the sport don't have. He had an inordinate amount of time to make his decisions.
That is one of the best offensive lines in the country. Like, it's very clear that's a Mario Cristobal offensive line right there in front of you. I think that's a lot of what this game is going to come down to is, can Indiana make Carson Beck uncomfortable? Because I agree with you. I thought Ole Miss did a better job than I expected them to do of putting Carson Beck in difficult situations. But that offensive line is so good. And I genuinely think that is sort of like the key to this game for Miami, because I don't think it's going to come down to Carson Beck. I think it's going to come down to how you run the ball.
Carson Beck is a very smart quarterback. Aiden Fisher is a former quarterback and incredibly smart, knows exactly where to be at all times. The pre-snap battle of minds between Carson Beck and Aiden Fisher will be really good. Also a player to watch, a South Florida guy who knows all about Malachi Toney. I'm very curious where D'Angelo Pons lines up. He's one of the best corners in the nation for a 5'9" guy. Guy just does not miss tackles. Is he going to line up against Malachi Toney? If you're familiar with Malachi Toney's rise throughout South Florida sports, those two guys know all about one another. Can't wait for this game. Go Canes.
Narratives.
Just go ahead and leave now. Then
1 minute left with Mike.
Take
advantage of the minute.
Let that be his last words. I can't wait for this game. Go Canes. He's not going to do better than that. I still don't understand why he has to leave early. Why the other people working the game, like Lucy, has carved out 3 separate hours to get to the stadium. Zaslow's going to go at what time? At what time are you going, Zaz?
I'm going to leave after the show.
Yeah, at a reasonable time. But Mike has to leave right now so that he could start his tailgating right now.
Darth Vader's trying to get in Skywalker's ear. You're the evil empire. Beat it. You're the
I will be beating it. The number 6. Go Canes!
We
You
didn't
always
get an
have
answer.
Fernando.
We didn't get an answer as to why he's
Thanks,
leaving
Master.
early. Thank you, Master, for all of your good work.
Bye, Master.
He was the get back coach on Mike. He kept him away from killing Dave Damashek. We hired him for the day, human resources, to protect us from having blood on the carpet.